Hello everyone! Have you ever wondered what is time? We're always racing against it, worried about not having enough, afraid of it slipping away. But does time really exist? Or is it just an illusion? Today we'll uncover the secrets of time, drawing from ancient observations, modern scientific discoveries, and profound philosophical insights. Stick around, because by the end, your view of time may be completely transformed. The birth of time. How ancient people understood time. Long ago, people had no clocks, no smartphones, so how did they understand time? The earliest concepts of time came from observing nature. Ancient Egyptians noticed that each time the Nile flooded, it was time to plant crops. In China, people used the moon's phases and seasonal changes to create the lunar calendar for farming and festivals. But what truly clarified the concept of time were the discoveries of scientists. Galileo, an Italian scientist, observed something fascinating. He noticed that the church chandelier took about the same amount of time to swing back and forth. By counting his pulse with each swing, he realized he could measure time. This observation led people to think that time could be measured with rules. But here's the question. We use clocks and sundials to measure time, but does time actually exist? Or is it just a tool invented by humans? Let's explore how modern science explains time. Modern science's view on time, Einstein's theory of relativity. In the early 20th century, scientist Albert Einstein introduced a mind-blowing idea. He proposed that time isn't fixed but changes with speed. This concept is known as the theory of relativity. Imagine this. Suppose there are twin siblings. One stays on Earth while the other travels on a super-fast spaceship. When the spaceship returns, the sibling on Earth has aged, but the one on the spaceship has hardly aged at all. This is because time on the spaceship moved slower. In other words, the speed at which we move affects the flow of time, making time relative, not absolute. If time can change depending on speed, does that mean time isn't as real as we think? Let's take a closer look at the quantum world and see if it can offer new insights into time. Time and quantum mechanics. The uncertainty of time. Quantum mechanics studies the behavior of tiny particles, and in this field, the concept of time gets even stranger. In the microscopic world, time doesn't seem as stable as we're used to. For example, if we observe a tiny particle, we can't precisely know both its path and exact position at the same time. This phenomenon is called uncertainty. So, in the quantum world, time becomes blurry, and the sequence of events isn't as clear as we imagine. This has scientists questioning, could time just be an effect we observe in the big world, but not something that truly exists in the tiny one? So, is time an objective reality or just a tool we created? Let's dive into what different philosophers have to say. You might find that time could be nothing more than a mental illusion. Philosophers have long questioned the true nature of time. Let's explore a few famous philosophers' views on time. Philosopher Immanuel Kant argued that time isn't an external reality, but rather a framework in our minds to understand the world. In other words, time is just a mental tool we use to sequence events. Think of it like waiting in line. We arrange events in order, just like lining up so they make sense. But if we didn't organize events, would time even exist? Another philosopher, Friedrich Nietzsche, introduced the idea of eternal recurrence. Simply put, he believed that everything repeats endlessly, like a movie looping over and over. This idea makes us rethink time. Maybe time isn't a straight line, but an endless cycle of repetition. It seems that philosophers are suggesting that time might just be an illusion in our minds. But in Buddhism, time has a completely different meaning. Let's see how Buddhism views time. The Buddhist view of time impermanence and present wisdom. In Buddhism, time is seen as an impermanent phenomenon, meaning that everything is constantly changing and nothing lasts forever. Buddhists believe that time is created by our attachment to things, and by clinging to the past, present, or future, we are only binding ourselves. Buddhist teachings say, the past mind cannot be grasped, the present mind cannot be grasped, and the future mind cannot be grasped. This means that the past has already gone, the future hasn't arrived, and the present is what we should focus on. If we can let go of our attachment to time, we can find peace within ourselves. The nature of time, different perspectives. From observing nature in ancient civilizations to modern theories of relativity and quantum mechanics, and from philosophy to Buddhism, our understanding of time has grown complex. Time might just be a tool we created to organize our lives, Perhaps time isn't a real entity, but rather a way we explain change. After exploring these different perspectives, I personally feel that time is more like a structure in our minds, helping us understand events in a sequence. Just like shooting clips and editing them into a story, time is a tool to organize life, but it might not truly exist in the universe. Applying the concept of time living freely from time's constraints. If time is indeed just an illusion, how can we live better without its constraints? This understanding can help us let go of worries about the past and future, allowing us to focus on the present. Stop overthinking. Did I do well in the past? Or will the future be better? Just enjoy the present moment. Instead of racing against time, move at your own pace and celebrate small achievements. When with loved ones, don't worry about the clock. Spend quality time and enjoy each other's presence. This approach to life helps us relax, reduce anxiety, and appreciate each moment more fully. So, do you believe time really exists, or is it just an illusion in our minds? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed today's exploration, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We'll continue to explore more mysteries of the universe and life together. Thank you for watching.